Spoilers and Fandom is like a book club for geeky stuff. Join us as we delve into the depths of our backlogs and sift through the games, comics, shows, movies, and books that we haven't checked out yet. Hey everyone, welcome to Spoilers and Fandom. Today we're talking about Spec Ops The Line, the spoiler episode, so...
If you haven't played the game to completion...
And you want to. Go do that now. Go do that now. Do not be listening to this. If you don't care...
Go ahead.
Yeah. Here you are. I am Hell's Knight.
I'm Hillary.
And let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
So, the story.
The story was actually good.
I did not like it.
The story was actually good.
Okay, what did you like?
But okay, this is everything that I got on the story. I got it from the YouTube.
The Let's Play.
Yeah, right. I got it from the Let's Play. So it wasn't necessarily that I got into it. But I liked the idea of... We've gotten way too many shooters of, I'm a soldier, uber masculine, super warrior type of guy. They go out somewhere, wreck it, come back a hero. This one was a bit different. You go in, not knowing exactly what's going on. You figure out that, what's his name? Conrad. And by the way, there's a lot of imagery in this, because they reference a lot this book by Joseph Conrad called Heart of Darkness. But yeah, that's a different part of the setting, whatever of the story. Yeah, that's the reason why the bad guy is called Conrad.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like a...
So that's something that completely flew.
That's like an obvious lead into that story. So that's what they're talking about. The capability of people to be bad or to be evil. Which is now the running theme in the game.
Is it?
It is. Because between the stuff that Conrad does in the beginning.
Conrad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, him taking over basically Dubai at that point and waging war.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe let's go over the story.
Okay.
So, the story starts off with these guys go to Dubai and they're supposed to look for survivors.
Yeah.
And the main character, Walker, has this connection to Conrad, who is a general or something, right? And he's supposed to be in the city with civilians, like helping survivors or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Basically, when your crew gets there, you get attacked by what seems to be survivors, and you take them out, and you decide to go in, right?
Yeah.
And find out what the hell's going on. So you shoot everyone, and you shoot your way through. Then there's a plot with the CIA or something. There's a CIA agent, and it turns out Americans are involved in this. There's another guy, not Conrad, like a grizzled kind of dude, whose name also starts with K or R. I don't remember. But he's the first guy you see, and they're like, oh, what's an American doing here?
The radio man guy?
No. Then there's a guy on the radio who's psycho, who plays all these tunes while you're fighting and killing people.
Yeah, that's
right?
the radio man. Yeah.
So that's the radio man.
Yeah.
But there's another guy. There's John Conrad, there's another guy who is CIA. Or not Daniels. No, sorry. So then there's the CIA, and then there's someone else. Okay, my point is, there's a lot of characters who are set up to be the villains, and then it ends up being someone else and someone else.
Yeah.
And Conrad, who's the guy who Walker had a lot of respect for at the start, is made to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, as you make your way towards him.
Yeah.
And then
had the Burj Khalifa. Which I never understood why he'd be there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
even you remember that.
You're sure you've watched everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole idea that I got when you finally get to Conrad, right? There's his dead body there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the person you're talking to is another version of him.
Yeah.
Right? And he basically explains what actually happened was you guys were ordered to do this. Instead, you did this, came into the city, and killed 47 people.
Yeah.
who are probably those guys at the start who shot you guys first. All you were supposed to do is report if you had seen any survivors and leave. That was your mission.
Yeah.
But Walker took it into his own hands, and he needed someone to blame.
Yeah.
And so he just picked Conrad as someone to blame. So basically the entire game has all been in his head.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
No, but now up until that point,
Right.
the fact that he'd played up Conrad to be the bad guy.
It's only towards the end, though, because Conrad is always like, oh, I don't know. Like, Conrad was always my best friend. He saved me in, like, Iraq and, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But he does talk shit to you at some point, even in the beginning. Not in the beginning, like towards the middle of the game.
Towards the middle, there's a point where there are two people hanging,
Like right before
and you're supposed
Lugo
to...
is killed.
Yeah, before Lugo is killed,
Yeah.
there's a point where two guys are hanging, and you're supposed to choose which one to shoot. Conrad says one's a soldier who was asked to do something and disobeyed orders. The other one is a woman who stole something and did something, basically in this fake government that Conrad has set up. But none of this is real.
Yeah, it isn't. It all...
That's
Now, another
the thing, yeah.
that I actually liked was the idea that... Did you hear about the whole cutscene thing?
What
the
cutscene?
fade-ins.
What?
Okay, you know the fade-ins before and after, like, sections when you're playing?
Yeah.
You know the way when you can play and when there's a cutscene
Yeah.
and it fades to black?
Yeah.
That means that you're moving now to... That actually happened. That means when it fades to black, in and out of black, that means whatever happened actually happened. That's real. But if you see fades to white, those are now Walker's hallucinations.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah. That's a thing now everybody has been explaining. All those sections that you play through, like now once you play through the beginning, that the whole helicopter like firing thing.
Yeah.
You play that, then you watch the...
When you get to it a second time, he's like, wait, I've already done this before.
That's what he means. The
Yeah.
second time is a hallucination. So it means, like, now what happens
So
is...
Walker does hallucinate quite a bit in this game as
Not even
shit
just-
goes wrong.
Not even
as
just
you're
quite a
playing.
bit. Like, from the helicopter scene at the beginning,
Right,
you play through that.
right,
Then you'll get the opening credits.
right.
It's a fade to white. So from then, up until chapter 13, is hallucination. So the
Yeah.
consensus is Walker died in that part.
No, but he's alive at the end.
50-50. Like the rest of the game, like chapter 1 to 13, is him playing out his guilt. He's like trying to make sense of whatever happened.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I did not get that.
That's now, the small things like those. And then now, even remember when I was telling you there's the certain narrative things that they do. Visual things, sorry, not narrative. The certain visual things that the game does. This happens actually in the beginning. There's a bit where when you go up, you enter a building and there's a tree right ahead of you. And it's beautiful, covered in leaves and flowers and everything. It's fine. You'll have a small cutscene where he interacts with that. Like if you look at it, he references it. Then you move past it.
What? What tree? What?
Then when you move past it and look back at the tree, it's dead. It's a dead. Dry
When
tree.
was this?
I'll find it. I think I'll just find this. I'll find you the video now.
I don't remember a single tree.
Yeah. It's inside the building. Even now, at the beginning of the game, like when you're going between skyscrapers and all that stuff, you know, the long shots that you're getting of Dubai.
Yeah.
The paintings and billboards on trucks, the billboards, there's even like ad banners that are on buildings.
Yeah.
And they all have Conrad's face.
So
Then when you come back at them again...
I can't see very well. And I didn't get any of that.
Then when you come back again, let's say like you go on one side, you'll end up like, you'll see like the banner that I'm talking about from the buildings.
Right.
You'll see a banner that has Conrad's face on it. You'll enter another building, fight through and get a different angle of the building you were looking at. And the banner is showing something totally different.
This game is not for me, man. It was not made for me.
Like it's showing a lady, and I could have sworn, I remembered seeing this and I said, I could have sworn I've seen Conrad's face there. Even in the very beginning, you see his billboard up there. And you wonder, why is he talking about? Did this guy have, how much time did like Conrad have to set up like his own like mini government, to set up everything that's happened here?
So for me, the giveaway that this was all in his head is when he keeps, like, as a character, because you have no control over what Walker decides to do.
Yeah, even the dialogue options.
There's no real choice or anything. But like when Walker says he wants to save people, why does he then start shooting them? You know, like, or like in a situation where his reaction should be, oh, if that's the case, we should do this, is what you're thinking. But Walker decides to do the opposite, and you're thinking, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's this one moment where your two, like Adams and Lugo, start fighting with each other. At that point, like, his reaction does not seem to fit his character at all.
Yeah.
And that all is intentional at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I just, like what you're talking about, I didn't catch any of that. What I did catch was the weird glitches. For example, really, like there's one part where a soldier is in front of you and then he like ports next to you.
Okay.
And he's really hard to kill.
I never got that too much. At least I didn't recognize that.
Yeah, that happens after the... Did you get to the phosphorus stuff?
Yeah.
After you do the phosphorus. That's after that.
Okay. Now, there's also those bits, like in the big, you'll also see those places where soldiers have been murdered. Like guys have been executed or civilians have been killed.
Yeah.
Look at the murals around you.
Yeah.
And there's a place where actually soldiers have been killed, have been executed in front of a wall.
Yeah.
And then the mural on the wall is the pictures of 3 kids and their eyes have been scratched out.
Yeah.
And the dialogue about it and on the wall and around it is, they talk about the way these are like now war crimes, these are horrors, and people shouldn't necessarily have to see them.
Yeah.
So it's like they were done, they did that to save the people from seeing them. Like you just know that this is the brutality of war that's occurring here.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, but that's not so.
It's not like too.
For me, that wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's there. Like there's little stuff like
the
that.
Stuff of things changing on billboards, I didn't notice that at all.
The pictures change. What else changes? The pictures change. Like even the world around you changes.
So what I liked is your interactions change. Like for example, when you're reloading at the start of the game, he'll shout to his companions, reloading. After Lugo dies, he starts swearing. And he doesn't say, I'm reloading, cover me. He swears and is like...
It's like he
I
just
forgot
wants
what
to
he says. Yeah. Or like when you get shot, he's like, ow. You know, like at the start maybe. Later on, he sounds like a raging gamer. Like, he swears like really hard. And he's like, God damn it. Like a raging gamer who's like, what am I comparing this to? Like Wolverine levels of rage with swearing is how he reacts. So that change is interesting to see. But again, I don't think that's the first game. Even like the melee kills and stuff, as the game goes on, they become more and more brutal. Where before it was like, you'll hit a guy in the head or you'll shoot a guy in the head. It becomes to you will make a gory mess of the guy's head.
Yeah.
Towards the end. And that's a huge...
The guy that you beat down.
No, like anyone who you fight, right? Like, you know, like if you do a melee attack, you knock the person down.
Yeah.
To kill them, you need to do it again. Go to their fallen body and do it again to kill them. Or like if a guy is crawling on the ground, you can finish them off with a melee hit, right? So initially it's a bit tame, and as you grow on, it becomes more and more brutal. So that was interesting. And the thing I talked about in the non-spoiler part with the main menu changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts with, like initially it starts with the American flag, electric guitar playing, I think it's the national anthem. I don't know. I don't know.
It's
and then as the game goes on, the flag is turned upside down at one point.
Yeah.
One point there is no flag. One point the flag isn't standing. Instead of playing that tune, it becomes more of a twisted thing. It then just isn't even there.
Even the loading screens change. Because there's one loading screen I remember seeing where it says, the subtitle says, "Do you feel like a hero yet?" So it becomes more and more, I want to say, skeptical of the whole military shooter soldier vibe.
Yeah. So if you're not reading this, you don't get any of this. I'm just saying.
Yeah. If you don't read it,
I got none of this. I got none of that.
Yeah. So you do see this kind of stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And even there's this point where you have a choice to kill. There's this guy who's trapped in the rubble with only his head showing, and he asks for a mercy kill. So you have two choices.
So he's the American I'm talking about. He's the first guy you see, and you're like, there are Americans here.
Yeah. So you're given two options.
You can let him burn.
Yeah.
Or you shoot him. Yeah.
Now immediately after, there's a mural afterwards. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a mural just after that, on a wall, like graffiti.
Yeah.
If you shoot him, the graffiti on the wall will be of a person whose head has been shot.
Yeah.
So you just see a body and a blood stain at the head. That's if you shoot him. And there's a weird dialogue when Walker realizes when he sees it, when you hover over something, when you look at something for a while, the game always gives you dialogue attached to it. So there's that scene where you'll see the body with a blood stain, and then up ahead there's that place with those two statues. Those two huge statues. Yeah. So one of the statues will be pointing a finger gun at the other one, and it's cowering away. Then you'll have a mini blackout, and then they come back to normal. They look like normal statues. Even their poses change. If he burns, you go to the mural. The mural will be of someone who's on fire, just a face covered in flames.
Yeah.
Then when you go to the statues, they'll look like they're made of lava. That's frozen. That's cooling down, molten rock.
I did not notice any of the stuff.
Yeah. This weird situational stuff that changes. And even at the absolute end where there's you have to make a morality choice. Either you kill Conrad,
you kill him, or you let him kill you.
Yeah, you either kill him,
you
let him kill you, or you kill yourself.
Yeah.
I think.
No, you kill yourself by letting him kill you.
No, there's a proper suicide option. You can shoot yourself.
If you shoot Conrad, the Conrad that was dead, basically that Conrad holds a gun to his own head.
Yeah. So that's yourself.
No. So it's a third-person shooter, right? So you're looking at it over the shoulder.
Yeah.
There's the Conrad who is talking to you, pointing the gun, telling you to make the decision
in 5 seconds
of what to do. He'll shoot you.
Yeah.
When he reaches 0.
Yeah.
There is the dead body Conrad. If you now aim towards him, if you're aiming towards the dead body, the dead body holds the gun to his own head. Okay? If you were So it's sort of I don't know what that implies.
No. The second guy is your reflection. That's not Conrad. That's you.
That's you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you aim at that one, that's not the suicide.
Okay, I thought that was Conrad.
So you see the hand coming up and you're...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you aim at Conrad,
you can kill Conrad.
Well, you kill him and he breaks into pieces.
Yeah.
Like Kingdom Hearts style.
Yeah. Even your gun does the same thing, and a weird cutscene at some point.
I don't know what happens if he shoots you.
If he shoots you, I think it's also just you die. If you allow him to, it falls under the same suicide option. Oh, it has multiple endings. That's why we're saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the next one has more interesting choices, I thought.
Yeah, but I never saw those ones so much.
So I saw all of these. So basically, I think it all stems from you shooting Conrad. You then radio for people to pick you up. And so, like, it goes into a cutscene where these soldiers are coming to the outskirts of Dubai, basically where you kind of started, around where you started the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Walker is there sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the soldiers come up to you, and you have a gun, and you look really beat up and stuff. And they ask you to give them the gun. So your options are to give them the gun, or like to surrender your weapon, or you know, you make up your own options. So basically, you can fight them, the soldiers. You can kill all of them, and you get like the bad ending, which is like, you know, let this sort of mayhem go on. You can get killed by them, which is, I think, a worse ending. Or you can give them the gun, and then they'll be like, how long were you in there? Or what happened here? Like, I can't remember exactly what the dialogue was, but like they ask you about it.
They ask you how you survived.
Yeah.
And then Walker replies,
like,
who said I did?
Yeah, who said I did? Yeah.
So those I guess are the 4-5 options that you have.
Three.
Those are 3 plus the other 2, committing suicide and killing Conrad. But those ones actually stem out of these ones.
I don't know if that makes a difference, yeah.
Because I guess if you commit suicide, these options don't come up because you die, because you're dead. And that thing for the fades in black and fades in white also apply to these
Huh.
endings. So like your hallucinations, there's I don't know. I'll try and I'll give the links for the videos that I watched.
The hallucinations, I think the most disturbing one for me was when you're ziplining down, and this is after Adams has had a fight with Dugo, and he's like criticizing you for what you're doing, but you're seeing him, like, it's instead of seeing an enemy soldier, it's him.
Yeah.
Criticizing you, and you bash his
head in.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones style. Yeah. Is that a spoiler for that? No. Yeah, but it's pretty gory, is what I mean.
Yeah. And even the characters as the story develops, you know, at the beginning they start out looking like a pretty clean-cut crew of soldiers.
Yeah.
After the white phosphorus thing, they're covered in burns.
I think just before that they start.
Things start progressively
losing themselves. Yeah.
They start looking progressively worse.
Which is like so. All these things that you're mentioning about the subtle things, I did not notice them. Like, I guess this was not my game. So I noticed none of that. But like, based on what I did notice, I didn't think it was enough still to warrant this game being rated that highly.
Yeah, like not for me. I only noticed these things after seeing that this is what it was supposed to mean.
No, the changes in terms of it getting rougher.
Where
I got to, it already started happening.
Yeah.
But again, like, if you've played, like, there are other games that do this as well. It's like battle damage, like, shows throughout.
And even shows, is it battle damage or just morality even? Because, like, Star Wars does it.
Well, Star Wars does it with the Force choices, right?
Yeah.
No, what I mean is, like, if you played Arkham Asylum, I'll keep going back to this because, like, it's relevant. But, like, as the night progresses, Batman's cape gets more and more torn and tattered and stuff. That's what I mean, like, to show how messed up stuff is getting.
Yeah, because even for me, I was like, if it's for morality, like, there's this, like, KOTOR and Knights of the Old Republic had a morality system where it showed a character looking progressively worse.
Yeah.
The more evil they were.
Yeah.
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 It's like even MGS5 had the same thing.
I think Fable did that as well.
Fable did that as well. Black and White did that as well.
Yeah. So for me, that's not something.
It's not
really
that big
new.
of a
But
for here, at least now you see in those other games, it's more of a cosmetic choice.
Yeah.
Here, it's a narrative option. It's a narrative thing. It drives the story. Here.
Okay. Thank you for explaining this to me. Yeah. I feel a bit dumb. The subtle things?
That's what I was saying. Like, afterwards, after seeing this stuff in those other videos, it gives me an appreciation. But that mountain that the gameplay presents is
No, it still sucks.
Yeah, it still sucks.
Like the game sucks.
But
Okay, but I feel like my rating has changed a little from what you've told me.
No, what I'll do.
But again,
you
they
decide.
didn't make it.
You decide if you'll change the rating. But I'll
Yeah,
send you those videos.
I'll make it a 6 actually.
Yeah, I'll send you the videos, and we'll also, I guess, be able to share them when the episode comes out. At least on the YouTube. On the YouTube one.
Yeah.
We'll share
Yeah, I did not notice that stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, because I watched quite a number of videos on this, and I think a couple of YouTubers dealt with this very well.
So I didn't. I just watched the Let's Play.
No stress.
And I made sure I was watching without commentary.
Now I wish when you finished you watched now one that had the comment.
So the ones that I found were just like guys who used to be in the army who were playing the game, and they didn't really talk about what they were seeing. Mm-hmm. So that didn't give me any indication that stuff was changing either.
Now I get what you mean by the story wasn't changing. The gameplay wasn't changing.
Yeah. Like for example, the billboard thing that you've just said that changes, or Conrad's face.
There's even that scene where
no one commented on that.
There's even that scene where you're fighting and then these guys start turning into mannequins as you're shooting at them.
Yeah.
It's okay. It has a lot of strobe like flashing lights.
Yeah. That's close to what I'm talking. I think that's close to where the teleporting guy is.
Yeah. So I think
because I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. So guys start turning into like mannequins as you're killing them.
Yeah.
And there's no real like clue that it's gonna happen, and it's all this whole sequence is just a gunfight sequence with you firing into like a room with crazy flashing lights, epilepsy, seizure warning stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So stuff like that. Like now they have weird changes. Like I remember, I don't know whether guys would have played, but have you played Condemned? Criminal Origins?
No.
Or Condemned?
Oh yes, yeah. That was like the Max Payne clone kind of thing.
Kind of. The one where you beat guys.
PS2,
with
right?
Yeah, PS2.
I played a bit.
Yeah. So now that game also had like bits in the world where you'll go discovering things, like you'll go exploring and you'll see a mannequin at a certain point. It's standard fair horror game stuff. Like you'll see something, then you turn around, you turn back, it's moved. So at some point you get surrounded by mannequins and then you get a blackout and then the story changes. So this felt a lot like, it reminded me of the mannequins.
So it's not original, really.
I don't know which came first, this or...
Condemned is pretty old.
But it's also just a horror.
Condemned was like Max Payne level, like.
But yeah, it's one of those. I don't know. I don't want to judge it too harshly based on that. Yeah, because it did feel like it was a totally new way of dealing with that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, disclaimer: if you have a vision impairment, this game is not for you, for sure. I did not see any of this stuff at all, man.
It has quite some detail.
Yeah, I didn't notice any of this stuff.
Yeah, but if the gameplay, I don't know. I really don't know whether the gameplay issue is going to be worth.
Yeah, the gameplay is crap. I'll go with your rating, but I will say if you have a vision issue, colorblindness issue, don't bother.
Please, yeah. It's because it's really gonna bug you and you won't even be able to like tell where your enemies are.
Yeah.
Any other spoilers?
Like me and just like click everywhere you can.
But you'll run out of bullets and you'll still keep getting waves and waves and waves.
When it wants you to do something, you don't run out. So what I didn't like, I hit these issues where it locks your controls. None of your controls will work except for the thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So there are more than 2 of those, 3, more than 2 or 3 of those that I got stuck with.
I can't remember. Like I don't know.
The first one is the guy at the top who that was the first. There are 2 more after that, at least.
I don't know. I wish I had now your gameplay.
Yeah. So the gameplay footage that I've put up is off like I think chapter 6 to chapter 8 and the first chapter. And The first chapter is on normal, so it's like new game, but just on normal difficulty. The chapter 6 to 8 one is on easy.
Okay.
And again, that doesn't feel too different. I guess guys take a bit more hits to take out. Whereas in easy, they literally
go down.
just...
Yeah, on easy, I think.
One shot.
Quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you change if you had something you could change in this game?
Just make it. I would still say make it up.
On rails?
Yeah, okay, no. Now that you've said all that stuff about all those details, because I did not... I think if it was on rails, maybe those details would be
more
easier
obvious
to see if the camera... Because the camera would be pointing at those things, right?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be up to you to look for them. So I'd say that and add like a whole lot of colorblind options. Yeah. I would change that, yeah.
Okay. But I did like... There's a scene where... when the whole place is on fire, he gets this vision of the Burj Khalifa. That look for me, it reminded me of Lord of the Rings so much because it just looked like Mordor. So the middle of the screen is just the silhouette of the Burj Khalifa, and then there's fire everywhere. It looks like the Eye of Sauron. And you're seeing people on fire running towards you. You can choose to kill them. You can let them burn to death.
Oh, are you talking about the hallucination?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the visuals of this game. It looks...
The visuals are nice.
The things it does that makes you think, okay, fine. Maybe he's crazy, maybe he's not. At least it makes you question those things.
Really?
Yeah. Like that thing of seeing Conrad in billboards really bugged me in the beginning. Like I saw that on my own. The blackout, the fade to black, fade to white, fade in and out of black and white, I hadn't seen. I didn't recognize that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I did not care.
I didn't notice that. But seeing Conrad on billboards and seeing the things in the billboards showing up after you've done something, those I recognize.
Huh.
Yeah. Because it's really weird. Like, they make a big deal of showing you, like, the very first vista that you get of Dubai. You'll see a big hanging thing with Conrad's face on a building. Immediately you shift perspective somewhere else, it changes to the picture of a woman. And it bugged me. In one of the rappelling scenes, where you're coming down off a higher part of the building and you're dropping down low.
Yeah.
As you're looking into the glass, you see the image of somebody who's hanging on a rope.
Yeah.
Like right behind you. But you know there's nobody there. So when you look behind you and you can't tell that there's anyone there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Really weird little stuff like that, man.
So what was the most fun part about this game for you?
The most fun? Weirdly, the helicopter scene. As when it came to gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah. When it came to gameplay, scene. I preferred the helicopter scenes because they took out a lot of the nonsense of having to move around. Okay. But watching the ending made me... It was also very interesting. I found it very interesting because now it puts all those other things into perspective. How crazy is this guy? How much of this game, how much of what you've played through has been a hallucination? How much is real?
Huh.
Yeah. So it's more you question what you've been doing, or you question the mental state of Walker.
Yeah,
up until actually, I feel like by the time you're doing that white phosphorus thing, you know he's crazy.
Yeah, it seems really, really weird.
Yeah, because by that point,
but it's not. I think after the white phosphorus thing, it's definitely 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Like, why would you do
this?
It's
crazy. Yeah. But before then, you don't really think about it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, like a lot of your decisions, even the orders that you're given, you don't question them in the beginning, but you start questioning them as you progress.
No, at the end it throws them at your face. Like, this is what you were ordered to do, and then it's given you in a flashback. This is what you were ordered to do, this is what you did.
This is what you did. Yeah.
This is what you said you were going to do, and
this is what happened.
Yeah, it gives you flashbacks to all those cutscenes.
Yeah. So the fact that it makes you... It's forcing you to think, okay, fine, what have I been doing? throughout this game. Because we're gamers. We tend not to pay that much attention to.
Oh, I literally did not notice those things.
We tend not to pay attention. When you're told it's an objective, it's an objective. Full stop. Yeah. That's why that part of the loading screen where it says, "Do you feel like a hero yet?" really got to me. That stuck with me. Because we never really questioned the objectives we're given. We never really questioned the orders until when you do them. And at that point, you don't know now the mental state of the person who's doing these things. So everything up until that point of your orders, of what you end up doing, and the repercussions are unknown. Because you might be playing with a crazy guy. He might have internalized those objectives as something totally different.
That is what happened.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we're seeing exactly how something like that worked.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why for me it pipped up from a 5 to a 6. No, sorry, from a 4 to a 6.
Yeah, you've kind of, this is the first rating I've changed. But I wish they had made it easier for me to tell.
Yeah.
Because I didn't notice any of this stuff, and I don't think that's my fault.
Yeah, it's clunky as hell. Like, I really don't like the gameplay to this game.
Yeah.
I'd challenge anybody actually who really likes this game to say that the gameplay is worth going through to finish the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we've played some pretty rough
trash
games.
Yeah,
like,
I play a lot of trash games.
No, personally. But like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
For its convoluted story
and gameplay.
I still prefer that.
I prefer Dark Souls to this.
Yeah. There's Mega Man, which I prefer a lot to this.
We preferred Mega Man to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it's way too different. Okay. Huh.
So it's just those little things are now what made me think, okay, fine. So these guys were actually trying to do X, Y, Z.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite shocked.
But it wasn't apparent. It's not obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My biggest issue again is it's a dope story. It's just married to a really rubbish
gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite moment, you're gonna laugh. It was literally going on the zip line from one building to the other, and that was it. Because I was like, I remember I did that part. And I was so happy. I told you, I've reached the zip line bit. Like,
and I was like,
just going from one building to the other. The first one. Yeah.
No, the zip line. Yeah, I liked the zip line.
It was cool because you get off. And then you're looking back, and your guys come and they do this little roll. I just thought it was cute. That was it. That was my favorite moment of this game.
Even the way you rappel down a building.
I didn't care for that.
Because you go, like, they do a whole thing where they, like, come in order.
Yeah.
Like, you take the middle one, and both of you teammates take the ones on the end. And then you go down this whole, like, they make it seem like a bigger deal than what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the riding the zipline was my favorite part.
Okay.
I really did not like the... there's one turret section where it's after the phosphorus part where you are hanging on the side of a truck and shooting guys with a rocket launcher. I feel like that's something I should have liked more, but I just didn't because I was so tired. You know, like the way the first time it happens, where you're hanging off a thing and shooting guys.
Yeah, you feel like a grade A badass.
Like the next few, because it does that a few more times.
Yeah,
it doesn't get better. Like it doesn't up the ante or anything. You know, a really good third-person shooter that does that stuff well, Deadpool.
I actually haven't played that.
That's one of the funniest games I've ever played.
Okay.
By far. But that game is also like a slasher kind of game. You can play it like melee. You don't have to use guns.
But it helps.
Yeah. No, I mean, you don't have to. You can play the whole game
melee.
With, like just using...
the swords.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever weapons you want.
In fact, actually, now that you mention it, I'll go try it out.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Okay.
So just this, I did not enjoy this.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
and clearly it was not for me.
I don't think it was for us.
Yeah, but like I didn't notice any of those things. So
I'll give you the links. We'll even add them in the description of the YouTube videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean.
So wait, you said you want to review your rating, or you wanted to still stick at a 5?
See.
Or you'll decide after.
You know what? Like, yeah, I can see why you gave it a 6.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't change my rating. I'll say I can see why you gave it a 6. And if I had noticed those things, I would have given it a 6 as well. But I did not notice any of those things.
So okay, fine.
And
so
it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's not, and they could have done stuff to make it better, easier to notice.
Not even easier to notice. They could have made. I feel like
put a colorblind option. Damn it! Like,
okay, yeah, those are one thing. I mean, like, if the gameplay was better, we wouldn't care so much. We would have played the game to completion, and we would have seen all those things. But since
like,
the gameplay wasn't,
want to keep playing the game, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't change my rating.
Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, but yeah, I do. Based off of what you said, I can understand why this game was highly rated now.
Yeah.
But before you explain that to me, I question sanity. Because I was like, there's so many better stories.
Yeah.
And there are better stories. Just I didn't know that there was that level of
detail.
Yeah, did you really see that?
Like, it's there. Like, I really that's what really impressed me. But I don't know. I couldn't also put it higher than that because I never got to see it myself. And 2, the fact that all that awesomeness is hidden behind a wall of
crap gameplay.
Yeah. Just makes it. It makes you less likely to go back to see it. Yeah. So it's just you just let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, those were my issues with the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think we have the same issues as well. Yeah, so that's it.
That's it.
So 5 out of 10 and 6 out of 10. Next time, guys, we're talking about the comic book Doomsday Clock.
Yes.
Which is Hillary's pick. And the Malazan Book of the Fallen book that we're doing next is House of Chains.
Yeah, book 4.
Yeah. So check those out.
You can also hit us up on Twitter and Instagram if you want to send us messages.
Yeah.
Even on Anchor. Actually, on Anchor, if you have like a comment or question or anything that you want to send, you can record a voice note and send it through there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're pretty much on top of IG and Twitter.
Yeah.
As and when you guys send in stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Do you have an opinion on what we just discussed? Did we miss something? Tell us in the comments section and we'll read it in the next episode. If you're listening on Anchor, send us a voice message and we'll add it to this episode. Don't forget to follow our podcast on Twitter @SpoilFans for updates, and follow our Instagram for behind the scenes action @SpoilersInFandom. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube and Anchor to get the latest episodes.